Good morning, everyone.
Or you need to know how much.
Welcome to Fiscal Court. I guess before we get started, I see one preacher out here. We're going to let him come up and lead the prayer. Brad Rogers.
Let's pray. Oh, it's on now. God, we thank you for the day, and Lord, we just thank you for all the many blessings that you've given each and every one of us. God, we know that you control the weather. God, you control the oceans, the moons. God, you control so much stuff. And God, we just ask that you control our hearts and our minds, Lord, as this court makes decisions for this county. Lord, I pray, God, that your blessings will rain down. And God, we just ask that you would protect all those that are keeping us safe so that we can have the freedoms that we have. We love you and we want to serve you. And it's in the risen name of Jesus that I pray. Amen.
Amen. We'll go ahead and call this meeting to order by saying the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome, everyone. Glad everybody can make it out. Before we start, gotta get my computer right. Before we start, we have an amendment to the agenda to add surplus of 3 filing cabinets from the Logan County Archives and remove the inventory as item number 10.
As requested.
All right, I got a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second. Roll call, please.
Davenport,
Yes.
Goodwin,
Yes.
Wilcutt,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Crawford,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Baker.
Yes. All right. My apologies. My computer is not working for me this morning. I don't know why. I need approval of the minutes as written.
Motion to approve the minutes from February 28th meeting.
No second that.
Got a second. Any discussion? If not, roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Goodwin,
Yes.
Wilcutt,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Crawford,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Baker.
Yes. All right. Our next one is we have representatives from, it's actually Hopkinsville, correct? And Russell Electric Plant Board. Whoever wants to come up first can give us a update on the broadband.
Good morning. I do have some handouts if you all want to see some copies.
Thank you.
Thank you to the courts for allowing us to come speak and update you all this morning. We're excited about the fiber that we're able to provide in Logan County. If you want to look at the first map that is on the page there, that is a proposed timeline. And I know a couple of you all have seen this before. There has been a few small minor changes, and there may be a few more, just due to some easements and different things that we've had a few hurdles to get past. But for the most part, you can see that the timeline, we're looking for sign-ups between June and August in the Logan County area. As I mentioned, this is just a current projection, so some of the areas that you see in blue might be open in July. Some of the areas for July might be open in June. So there may be a few little changes, but that is the time frame that we're expecting. Do you all have any questions on that?
This has been pushed back, I guess, a
month.
month here in the last few weeks, right?
Yes, so we did have a few weeks due to some easement issues, but, and it might get caught back up, but that's the time frame that we're looking at right now. Any other questions?
So when you say you start taking signups during these months,
Yes.
service is probably how many weeks probably to follow?
So right now, we're looking 4 to 6 weeks out on installations. We've got more contractors in for those installs, and that is getting better. But I think right now, as of yesterday, we had about 161 installs over our counties that we are looking at doing. So just depends on how many areas are open at the same time, but it could be 4 to 6 weeks.
So when would you encourage people to sign up?
As soon as it's available. Yep. And so we can let you all know that, or Timothy from Hopkinsville Electric is going to speak on the sign-up process, and you can look on the map and check that. And you can even do early sign-ups.
Okay.
Any other questions on that?
All the rest of them live outside the territory.
What does it look like so when you get to the install part,
Yes.
what's it look like of course, y'all are just doing internet, strictly internet, no, y'all have phone service as well?
Yes.
Okay, so it's internet and phone.
Yes.
Okay, so what's it look like for the install? Is installation free or installation $99?
We don't charge for install.
Okay, so y'all tie into the customer's existing copper wires for their phone jacks?
Yes,
and
we
then-
can, yeah.
And then bring it into wherever they need it to, for wherever their wireless router is or whatever?
Right, and typically we'll kind of survey the home, and something centrally located is generally the best place for a router install, and we try to work together to come up with the best place.
So do y'all just provide the Ethernet cable and they have to get their own router, or y'all's ONT built in inside with the router and everything?
ONT's separate, but we do provide a router, and we also have mesh units available optionally if you need extra coverage, if you have a larger home or like funkily shaped home or something like that. So
Okay, cool.
When you say you have you have additional installers, is that the ones that are making the drops to the house? Or are you saying the people that are plowing the line in and the operators outside that are laying the line?
So we're talking about the ones that are actually running the drops to the house.
Good, okay.
Yes, ma'am. Any other? Okay. All right. The next section just gives a little quick summary of our progress. Our backbone is about 90% complete, and splicing is in progress for that. And it would be 100%, but as I mentioned, we had a few little easement areas that we just were a little hurdles to jump over to get some easements in some areas. So that is looking good now, and that should be complete pretty soon. Fiber to the home, we're about 25% complete as far as having it built, and the splicing is in progress on that as well.
Are you guys putting drops to every house or just the ones that are signing up?
So drops are just going to the homes that are signing up.
Thank you.
Okay. The next map, Kentucky's Better Internet Program. So there is a grant that was due February 6th that we applied for Logan County. The purple areas indicate the areas that are included in that grant. We will not find out. So the deadline for all the challenges and everything it'll be around April-ish time frame, but if it's any indication from the first grant that we had applied for, we won't know anything for a little while on that. They don't always get in a big hurry to let you know who is awarded those grants, but you can see those are the areas that were applied for that we were able to apply for. And so we'll definitely have to keep you all updated on where that stands.
What's the significance of that grant? I guess just free money to help pay for the project in essence?
Yes, sir,
but
and, yes.
Okay.
And when we first approached the courts, back last year before, our CEO had shared that, because, the courts gave the money for this build, and if we were able to get grants elsewhere, then we would be able to provide that money back to the courts. So it all depends on how the grants go through and all that.
So just less county participation and more grant.
Yes, sir.
Just for a little history for Newport members. We put out 2 bids, and y'all probably, they already have researched and found this out. We put out 2 bids, 2 areas. And the area that Penny Ryle, who's partnered with Hockenville Electric, they put in the bid. So we got $5.2 million of our ARPA money. $3.5 million of that is the Penny Ryle build, and then we committed $1 million to the electric plant board build.
Okay.
So that's, and then as time goes on, as they need the funds, they come and work with Amanda. I think I saw it in the bill list, the first draw from the electric plant board. But they're pulling off that $5.2 million ARPA funds that we got.
Okay, because I know fiber optics was provided in our area by Logan Telephone.
So Logan Telephone already has.
That's what Thomas was just telling me.
They already these
are unserved.
These are unserved.
Okay, Friendship Road, for example, I've had several people call about that.
Well, that'll be Logan Telephones, and
That's still
so we would have to
I'm
let
sorry, we're behind the curve. This was before I took
Right.
office, I'm assuming.
Greg Hale with Logan Telephone will be here in a couple of weeks. He couldn't make it this week, and
Okay.
he won't be able to
So
make next meeting,
please
but he's going to
talk
come and give an
about
update
that.
also.
And this is about the other guys, lower, down
Right.
south. Okay,
Right.
okay.
Sorry,
No,
y'all go
that's-
ahead with the
Great.
rest.
No, thank you, because I just asked Thomas that question. Thank you.
All right. Timothy?
All right. And for those of you that don't know anything about EnergyNet or don't know very little about EnergyNet, just real quick, we've been working with fiber since 1998 in Hopkinsville. So we've got a long history with fiber, and we've been working on our own deployments and then deployments in partnership with Penny Ryle for several years now. We're just excited to get internet to all of these places that nobody ever thought anybody would get internet to. So the focus, obviously, for these areas is residential. We do have business services available, and if you want to know any more about that, you can hit me up or give us a call, and we can talk about those. But residential services, we have 3 packages: $59.95, $79.95, and $99.95 a month, and they're 200, 500, and a gig speed-wise. Like we said earlier, it does come with a router. We have mesh units available. We do the install for free, and we just we want to get out there and get as many people served as we can. And then Francis was mentioning the website. We have a website, goenergynet.com, and that's where we keep kind of our overall project map and timelines, and we allow people to put in their address and express interest, and if they're in an area that's already served, they can go ahead and sign up from that site also. So that's kind of the nexus. We want to encourage everybody to go there and put in their interest. We take that information and then reach out to them whenever service is available for them. So goenergynet.com is kind of our most critical piece in this. Well, the fiber is the most critical piece, I guess, but the most critical piece in the customer outreach. So, any questions about any of that? Or
Whenever y'all go to do the installs, a lot of these houses are going to be very far from the cable path on the poles.
Right.
Do y'all have any limitations that you're giving the customers on distance from the pole to the house? And then when you lay that on the ground, I guess just for information purposes for people, what they can expect, when y'all lay the drop fiber to the house on the ground, y'all do to where somebody comes back a couple weeks later or a week later and buries that for you? Y'all contract that out?
yeah, we contract out the majority of the install. A lot of times the drop being buried depends on the weather. I mean, that's kind of the driving factor behind that. I mean, if our contractors can get ahead of that and just go ahead and bury it when they're out there to do the drop, weather permitting, they try to do that. But a lot of times, like locates and things like that can slow that process down.
Distance-wise, like if somebody was a long way from the road,
As far as distance, go ahead.
Yeah, at this point, we have not seen any limitations on that.
Right.
So I've had a situation where a customer does not have electricity, but they wanted fiber. And it was a very long distance, so we would need to work with that customer, because we don't have the poles or the infrastructure to even hang the fiber on. So there are, I'm not gonna say there's no limitations, but there are a few situations that can arise, but right now, we do not have a cap as to how far we will go.
Okay, cool.
Really long burials, well, it's still in talks. It's still in talks.
Tricky.
Yeah, that one's a little interesting. So I think that customer
Typically
had
follow
mentioned
power.
possibly wanting
If power's
electricity
overhead,
at
we
some
typically go
point,
overhead. If it's
so
underground, we try to bury
Kind of
it.
working on that, seeing, yeah. So there are situations that could change, but for the most part, we've not ran across anything that we're not building to.
Okay.
Any more
Appreciate
questions?
that, man. I know there's a lot of people excited about it coming.
We are excited.
Absolutely.
We're excited too.
It's a very popular question.
Do we have any more questions? Comments, concerns?
Thank you all.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks.
Appreciate it.
All right, next up is Dale with Russell Electric Plant Board. Come on down, Dale.
Good morning, everyone. Just got a little map here. Judge, I'm sorry I didn't have one for you. My printer ran out of ink.
They don't need one.
You're gonna have to increase your
The black line there is just showing the area for 431 where we have gotten fiber pulled so far. And the guys are starting today on another section, trying to get it all pulled across the fields and all before farmers get started planting. Once they get that area complete, we'll have half of 431 completed on our backbone build out. The blue line you see there where I don't have it where it crosses the road, that's just because we haven't pulled it across the road yet. We've got all our permits for our road crossings. We're just waiting on the weather to get where we can get the trucks in, and we have to give the company that's going to do our traffic control for us 2 weeks' notice. So that's kind of hard to do right now with the way it's raining and stuff, so we can get in there. But we're going to get it done. We've got all our railroad crossing permits, got the insurance for that, and we'll be getting those done the first 2 weeks of April. That's our insurance only lasts for 2 weeks, so we have to get it done then. 6880 route is pretty much all pulled, all the backbone and everything is pulled in. We'll be splicing it up March the 27th, weather permitting. That's when the schools will be out for spring break. We'll have to take the schools fiber down. That's why we're waiting to that time period to get it spliced. Once we get that spliced, we'll get our road crossings done, and probably in May, we'll start having people come in and sign up for service, so we'll know where to run the drops, because we want to do that and then get all the drops ran and then start scheduling installs. We're soliciting bids now for Stonewall also to see what it's going to cost us to get everything put in that area. It's not easy getting any bids right now. We've had 3 companies that didn't even bid on it. They said they weren't interested, but we're working on it. Let's see, anything here.
So on Stonewall, when did you say you would possibly have that?
Hopefully we'll have that by September.
September?
Yes, ma'am. It's, like I say, it's just right now getting the bids, on it. And we're figuring on the 431 route towards Lewisburg, we'll probably start taking sign-ups on it probably in August.
Excellent.
Is that the Coopertown Road route too, or y'all don't go that far?
Yeah, we're gonna pick up part of Coopertown Road, yeah. We will.
So that area, the 431, you said y'all have already got some of that backbone ran?
Yeah, there where the black line is, we've got that ran. The main route that you see on the right side of that black line, that's the school fiber route, and we'll pull that last. We're gonna get all the other areas pulled in, and then we'll pull that backbone for the school in.
You
You know Chris McGinnis was listening to you and heard you say September, you know that, right?
Don't write that down.
How many new customers are y'all gonna be able to service?
Well, it's about 600 in both areas total.
And how many new customers was y'all gonna be able to service?
I do not have that count with me, but I can.
I was just curious.
And we do have the service area map on our website.
I think EPV was around 800 customers, if I'm not mistaken. Does that sound right?
And then Penny, he said 600. but-
There's about 600 on these two areas, and then the other areas we're gonna serve after we get these two done,
Yeah.
will be the other
I think
customers.
it was somewhere around 700-800.
Yeah.
In total at the end of it.
And like I say, there's a service area map on our website that shows these areas. The 431 areas in red, 688 areas in blue. So if anybody wants to go in there and look and see what area we're gonna be picking up.
So your material is what put you back probably about 8-9 months.
Oh, yeah.
Was about that how? Because originally, you know, when we was talking about it, we was y'all was shooting for 12 months of having y'all's area done. But I think you almost got put back 12 months.
Yeah, it
because
took,
of material.
yes, it took almost a year to get all the material in. So,
And
Just kind of let people know that's why.
that
Yeah.
was a national thing. I mean, it was, as someone that was in that business for 2 years, I know that hurt everybody across the nation. It wasn't just one area.
The COVID problem.
Sure.
Well, okay, I get
You know,
that. No,
I
I
mean-
get that, I get that.
That and the ships that were rolling around the water for a while. I don't know what all the excuses were.
and then the storm didn't help much last week either.
No, I imagine y'all are still catching up on some sleep.
Still picking up pieces from it also. There's still work to be done. So,
And I'd like to say thank you to you guys and Penny Ralph and Warren Rule. All three of you done a wonderful job in Logan County of getting them up as quick as you possibly could.
any other questions?
No, great, thank you.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
all.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you,
Yes,
sir.
Take care, buddy.
Next on is the Logan County Chamber of Commerce to present and discuss concerts at Carico Park. Good morning, Polly.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you all? Good. On your iPads, I believe you should have a letter and 2 different charts from 2022 and this year, 2023. So we are here today to ask for funding for our 2023 concerts at Carico. Last year, our concerts in total cost $27,500. And we are expecting this year for concerts to cost a little bit more. And a couple of those reasons for that are, we want to supply sound equipment for all of our bands that will be coming. Last year we did not, but we could see a substantial difference in the bands based on if they had sound equipment or if they provided or if we provided the sound equipment. So we would like to provide that for all. And then we have a couple of bigger events planned for the 4th of July as well. So I'll let you all read through those.
Are y'all still in the talks of possibly purchasing the equipment?
So we have kind of come to a standstill with that, and we talked about that at our board meeting this morning. A stage is about $89,000, and that's just the stage itself. So that's not manning the stage, that's not having someone to come set up the stage, store the stage, and be able to work that as well. So right now that's on hold again for this year. The logistics is what we would have to figure out going forward with that.
So some of that cost, I guess some of the band cost was because that they provided their own.
Yes, so
audio.
for,
Other than, looks like Tyrone Dunn was more expensive even with us doing the audio.
correct. So Tyrone Dunn provided his own sound guy for $500. We just paid that $500 directly to him. And then JD Shelburne was $2,500, and that's with Musicians Pro when we provided the sound. New Blue and Riley Keegan had their own sound equipment that they set up before.
Only thing is I kind of wish we could do, maybe add another, the additional funding, maybe you could add another concert. I mean, I think it was a big hit. I think you had a lot of people come and really enjoyed it. Brought a lot of people in from around. It wasn't just for our people. Other people came, and I'd support us helping y'all in our next fiscal year, which we're coming up on budget time soon. So, absolutely. I think it was good. Like I said, I guess the only difference, I guess I would kind of expect it to be maybe another band or something. If we're adding funds to compare what y'all had last year.
Go down and look at the.
Yeah, I am, but I think it's the same exact.
So the city of Russellville paid a substantial amount more last year, so we're trying to take some of that funding away from them, or not away from them, but ease their burden of what they paid.
You just lost Tyler. Just lost.
I'm sorry.
You just lost him.
You lost me.
He just went,
Hey, you know, that
downhill.
fifth concert, you could put that on Tyler if that's
No.
all right. Yeah.
No.
You can be the headliner, bud.
Well, regardless of how you crack the egg, for me, it doesn't matter. You're here to ask the court for 10 grand. Now, how much you ask for the city of Russellville is irrelevant to me. I'm like Tyler, it's a huge success. It builds community, which, is a fundamental part of what county government can be a part of to help support. And 10 grand is a small amount of money and I know we always have, other projects we want to do, but, it is a small amount of money to put back into the community that a lot of services taxpayers just don't utilize. Might be a polite way of putting that. So I'm for it. I don't want to wait till next budget time. I think we could find those funds in our contingencies. Let Judge and Amanda kind of figure that out. I know we've spent a lot of money here lately on some unbudgeted things, but anyhow, I know the money's there. So I'm in favor for it. What else the court?
I'm in favor of, us helping y'all do this, but I would really urge you to, just so you can make it even more than what it was last time, I would urge you to have those conversations in the city of Russellville and ask them, I don't really like making up funds to help them save money. I'll just be honest with you. I think that it's in the city of Russellville. It's more better for them than anybody. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, I would think maybe, I would urge you to try to keep that at 20,000 from them, and then us give you 10, and maybe you can
Add another concert.
you know what I'm
Okay,
saying?
yeah.
I mean, that's just my opinion.
Absolutely.
But I'm 100% for the county doing $10,000.
Okay. Thank you.
Somebody in the crowd just passed out. Did you hear that? You might want to go help them out.
I don't like to do the money,
No, I do. I'm with you. I think they ought to stay at 25,000.
20.
So the way they've got it, 2 of the concerts is.
Yeah, you want to raise
That's
them.
right. That's how you get another concert, right?
When
Or get a big headline.
You do 10.
Because there's 2 concerts after our
There you go.
budget.
So
Next fiscal year.
preferably before, would be
I just
for
said that 'cause
this.
I thought it wasn't in budget, but if we've got contingency, then I'm good with it.
Let's rock and roll with it. It's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
I'm ready to vote.
Is that a motion?
What's wrong with
Yeah. I'll make a motion that we,
What's the motion?
I'll make a motion that we contribute $10,000 to the Chamber of Commerce to support their concerts, and we find that money in our contingency fund.
Second.
Okay, well, do we have any other discussion? If not, roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Goodwin,
Yes.
Wilcutt,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Crawford,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Baker.
Yes.
Thank you all. One last question. When would be a good time to come back and talk about funding for Tobacco Festival? I know I want to get in before you all have those.
For budget, so May, early May, late April.
I think last year we missed the mark, so I want to, so maybe in the next month.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just give me a call, we'll talk about it.
All right, thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, appreciate what y'all do with that, and
Yes.
many other
I
projects.
think it's great.
I don't know, I don't, I just keep it right there. One button at a time, I go from one to two, to two to three, to three to four. Because if not, I'm gonna be the same boat you're in.
You said
'Cause I'm
number
not
three
an
and you
app-
stopped.
I'm not an Apple user.
All right, next on the agenda is approved bills. You should have them in your, on your iPads.
I'll make a motion to approve the bills.
Have a motion.
Where was Tyler, where was the expense for EPD?
They're
Very
at the very
bottom.
bottom, 175,000 for their first draw. It's the first time they've, I think, taken any money from.
Lo and behold.
I think that's-
It's at the very bottom.
I made a motion.
I have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Have a second, any more discussion?
We have a supplemental too, right?
I didn't see it. Oh, yeah, sorry, and the supplemental bill list.
Yeah, my apologies. So I have a motion to approve the bills and the supplement bill list, and a second. Do I have any discussion? If not, roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Goodwin,
Yes.
Wilcutt,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Crawford,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Baker.
Yes. Next up is the treasurer's report. Amanda, please come up. Give us good news. Worth a try.
Okay, so. The first thing that I have for you is our financial statement ending February 28th, 2023. The balance in the general fund was $1,544,303.88. Road fund, $477,452.60. Jail fund, $40,917.06. LGEA, $5,148.83. Federal grants fund, $54.68. Solid waste recycling, $492,255.44. Parks and Recreation Fund, $752,354.62. Occupational tax, $7,436,465.84. Life skills, $153,983.86. 911 fund, $71,540.77. Health insurance fund, $739,042.96. County clerk storage fee, $19,955.40. ARPA fund, $5,280,758.99. National opioid settlement fund, $136,748.18. Special reserve fund, $4,190,636.92. For a total of all funds, $21,341,620.03.
Move to acknowledge.
Second.
Motion and a second. Do I have any discussion? If not, roll call, please.
Davenport,
Yes.
Goodwin,
Yes.
Wilcutt,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Crawford,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Baker.
Yes.
This is just a quick question about, I did notice that we're gonna be pretty far behind on the jail inmate payments from the state. Do you have a guesstimate of how, does anybody have a guesstimate of how negative we're gonna be in that? I know it was all a lot from last year, but
The Jailer Association's in a lawsuit with it right now, and they're having hearings, and there's another hearing tomorrow over that, on the delay, on payments, so.
so is that what it is, they're delaying on paying us?
Well, yes, it's kind of a combination.
Okay. I just noticed that, I don't think we're gonna meet what we budgeted.
It's a bigger issue
Yeah.
with the department.
I think we budgeted a little over $1 million for payments, and I think we're only 500,000 in at this point.
And our payments currently are on time. We have gotten reimbursed for February. But our numbers were down for several.
Steve, what are you calling her here to meet?
Our payments are definitely down because of the number of inmates that we had. So, that's part of it too. But our last payment was around $82,000, which they're coming back.
Coming back up.
They're
okay.
coming
'Cause
back.
I know that there was a whole pod that was closed, for, I don't know how long, a year or two, and I think Toomey's working on getting that back open. It's just taking, can't do everything overnight, can you, Toomey?
Right. Yeah.
Appreciate it.
I believe
Yeah,
that's-
I just noticed that. I think we're not gonna meet that. But
Yeah. So our payments are getting better. It's just taking time. They're doing a great job trying to get things
Oh, I
back
know.
together, and it's going to take a little time.
All right.
But we are rebounding.
Okay, good.
The next thing in your folders that we need to get, or not in your folders, but on your iPads that we need to get approved is the list of budget transfers.
So moved. Budget transfers totaling $22,731.67.
Second.
Motion second, do I have any discussion? Roll call, please.
Davenport,
Yes.
Goodwin,
Yes.
Wilcott,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Crawford,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Baker.
Yes.
And today, we need to have the second reading and adoption of a budget amendment. It's ordinance number 23220-02, amendment number 3. This is to amend in unbudgeted receipts that will increase revenue code 134510, state grants by $17,685. Road Fund Revenue Code 024514, Transportation Cabinet by $12,120. General Fund 014733, Insurance Reimbursement by $3,654.92. Jail Fund 034733, Insurance Reimbursement by $13,948.17. Which will increase General Fund Expenditure Code 01501540, Sheriff Maintenance Vehicles by $1,142.60. General Fund Expenditure Code 015015-103, Sheriff's Deputy Salaries by $2,512.32. Jail Fund Expenditure Code 035101-103, Deputies and Matron Salaries by $12,000. Jail Fund 035101-340, Jail Vehicle Maintenance and Repair by $1,948.17. Solid Waste 135212-446, 2023, Illegal Open Dump Grant, Sawmill Road by $17,685, and Road Fund 026105-730, Iron Mountain Road Emergency Repair by $12,120 for a total of $47,408.09.
Make a motion to acknowledge.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any more discussion? If not, roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Goodwin,
Yes.
Wilcott,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Crawford,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Baker.
Yes.
And I do have 3 cash transfers for you today. We need to transfer $60,000 from the Occupational Net Profits Tax Fund to the Jail Fund, retroactive to 3/8/2023.
So moved.
Yeah.
You said a second.
Did I get a second?
I'll second that, yes.
All right, thank you. Any further discussion? If not, roll call, please.
Davenport,
Yes.
Goodwin,
Yes.
Wilcott,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Crawford,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Baker.
Yes.
And today, we need to transfer $140,000 from the Occupational Net Profits Tax Fund to the Jail Fund.
So moved.
I'll second that one too.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Do we have any discussion? If not, roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Goodwin,
Yes.
Wilcott,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Crawford,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Baker.
Yes.
And we need to transfer $20,000 from the Occupational Net Profits Tax Fund to the LGEA Fund.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Do I have any more discussion? If not, roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Goodwin,
Yes.
Wilco,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Crawford,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Baker,
Yes.
And that's all I have for you this morning.
Thank you, Amanda. Thank you for all you do.
You're welcome.
All right, next on the list is road work request. District 1, please.
District 1, continue maintenance. Appreciate all the tree, I'm looking at the list and look at all the trees they've been picking up, so I appreciate all their hard work on doing that.
They have done a lot of work out there. Kelly wasn't able to be here today, but I'll pass the word along on that. District 2?
Just, been sending emails, and Kelly's been keeping up with everything. Doing a good job.
All right. District 3?
Hey, just continue maintenance and need to get with him about a call about Thompson Chapel Road to see if he's had any thoughts on that.
Okay. District 4?
Same thing, continue maintenance, and I do want to just give a shout out to the road department, because I had trees in District 4 over 40 roads.
Oh.
And it's not just one tree over each road, it was 10, 15, I mean, it was crazy.
Yeah.
They stayed out that Friday till 10, 11, 12 o'clock running,
And it was out all day Saturday,
Yeah,
too,
all
most
day
of the day
Saturday.
Saturday.
So we appreciate that effort, and everything else looks good. He said Scotty's will be here in 2 weeks to start our paving, so I'm excited about that. Possibly.
Depending on weather. But
Weather
yes,
permitting.
Weather permitting, absolutely. District 5?
Yes, actually, it was amazing. I need to say this. Neighbors helping neighbors before the road department got there. We were traveling around, and I mean almost every single place that had the trees across the roads, the neighbors had already cut them up, were
Right.
moving them to the side. Now, the road department still, of course, is way backed up trying to pick the stuff from the sides.
Correct.
Because we had dozens of places on almost every road that they've been pushed aside. So they've got my compliments, but I've got to compliment our district for helping each other. Thank you.
All right. District 6?
West Valley Drive, I have a drainage issue on the south side of the road where it used to be a little hole there that allowed water to go under the road. I can meet Kelly out there and show it to him. And the landowner, and it's in the right of way. The landowner's filled it up, and now the water's running over the road and into the neighbor's property. Just need to work with him to get that opened back up. And then on Clematis Road, I have a speed limit sign that the recent storm blew down, and would like to request that that be put back up, and also to have it moved either forward or back just a little bit, because where it's at now, when you're coming that way, the vision is blocked by a couple of mailboxes. So if it was just moved a little bit, it would get, you could see it a little better.
We'll get with Kelly on that. No problem at all.
Thanks for the recent work. I know they've been hard at it. I appreciate it.
The road department has worked their tail off. They're still out there working on storm damage, removing trees. I'm out there every day and watching them pull out, going after this stuff. I'm very proud of what they've done. They went above and beyond.
Kelly said we've already got our money's worth on that grinder head.
We sure have. They, as a matter of fact, I'll go ahead and give the update. They put the blade on, and they have absolutely been, so far, it is paying for itself as we speak, of just being able to just send one vehicle out there versus multiples, one crew member versus multiple crew members. So it's going to pay for itself pretty quick at this rate. All right. Accept road work.
Motion to accept the road work request.
Got a motion?
Second.
Got a second? Any other discussion? If not, roll call, please.
Davenport,
Yes.
Goodwin,
Yes.
Wilco,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Crawford,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Baker,
Yes. Elected officials, Sheriff Stratton.
Just need to get the February fee report acknowledged.
Motion to acknowledge the February fee report.
Second.
Motion second. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Davenport,
Yes.
Goodwin,
Yes.
Wilcutt,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Crawford,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Baker.
Yes.
That's all I have.
That's it.
Thank you.
Short and sweet. County Clerk Stacy Watkins. Give us some good news, Stacy.
I also have a fee report from February. I need you guys to acknowledge. You should have a copy of that.
Motion to acknowledge.
Second.
Motion second, any other discussion? Not, roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Goodwin,
Yes.
Wilcutt,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Crawford,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Baker.
Yes.
Thank you, guys. Y'all just want to update, Pam and I are headed to Frankfurt this afternoon. Those of you, I don't know if any of y'all have actually been here since the last census, but every time there's a census, we have to go through reapportionment. Kind of just want to get you guys' mind thinking on that. Starting May 1st, we can actually start moving forward with selecting a committee. What that means is we will be redrawing the district lines to make sure each of your magisterial districts are kind of as close to even as possible as far as how many constituents are in them, how many of the population in each district. It's a big undertaking. We will have the help of Brad, the Barren River Area Development. I say that, we'll probably get bids elsewhere, but typically we go with them. They're usually the cheapest anyway. So I'll be going, I'm going to be learning all that I can about that tonight and tomorrow. I'll be bringing some information to you guys over the next few months about that. I also have a request that I'm going to be bringing to you all. While we have Brad doing that, we would also like for them to actually map out all the street tables. In dealing with the election my first time, and then also being a candidate as well, we're just noticing that there's a lot, when you have humans that are going in and typing all this stuff in manually and creating those street tables, deciding where each voter, what district they go in as they register to vote, or if they move, I mean, you've got room for error. So what we would like to do is go ahead and, while Brad is creating these maps for us, have them do a street table map for us, so that way it kind of just goes straight into our computer. That's something we put in an address, we type it in. We're not going to 5 different maps to decide, hey, you're in this school board, you're in this magisterial, you're in this congressional, you're in this, all the different, because I mean, y'all saw in the general election, we had 55 ballot faces. That's 55 decisions that we're making as we input that information in on every single voter. So there's a lot of room for error there. If we could have Brad go ahead, I don't think it's going to cost a lot of money, but I think it would be a very good investment for our county. We're one of the few counties that don't have this already. We would type that address in when we go to take care of that voter, and that computer's going to tell us exactly who their congressional, who's their magisterial, who is their, everything, every different possible scenario that it could be. It would decide that for us. So it's just something I want to kind of just give y'all an idea that is a goal that I have for us.
For y'all to search build, will there be something that Brad can do that would allow the public to do that?
Yes, we could absolutely. Yeah, you'd be able to. Yeah, you'd be able to go in and instantly know, hey, this is my this is my magistrate.
I have a lot of people that
don't know.
not know. We could just
Yes.
share that and say,
Absolutely.
put in your.
Absolutely. Yes, 100%. I think that would be great. I have had a meeting with her. The last fiscal court, I was in a meeting with someone trying to get some grant money. So I wasn't able to be here. And then I had a meeting with Brad right after that, and we were talking to her about, like, what does that look like? What are we talking about? And basically what they would do is build an app. It would be like its own little software. And so it's a great time to do it. We've already got to go through reapportionment. They're already going to have their hands on every road in our county as far as the map goes. What a great time to do it. It wouldn't cost a whole lot more to go ahead and have a software built, so we can just go in and just type that in and it would decide it for
there
us.
is a chance that our lines could not change a lot, just because there is a threshold, I think, is it a 10% threshold plus or minus or something like that?
I'm going to learn all about that tonight and
Okay.
tomorrow, but yes, I believe you are right. What little bit of homework I've done on it. Yes. So it's been 10 years. I think it's been like 11 years actually since we've.
They've been talking about it for 2 or 3 years.
Yes.
So my question would be, when would this go into effect? Would it be in the middle of like, say, our terms, or would it be like You don't
It's
know.
gonna happen in the middle of your term, I'm sure. So by the time we're all running again, yes, you're gonna have new
I
districts.
didn't know if it would be that turnover year or if it's
I'm-
gonna be next year.
I'm almost positive we're gonna see it here within the next year or so. Is that right?
I'm just saying, where these lines that you're putting into place will be what you will run in 26.
Yes.
Right,
And this
but-
only happens every 10 years.
It only happens when there's a census.
Well, you've got an enormous road in Auburn.
Yes, ma'am.
in North toward Bowling.
But
We were
what-
supposed to do it in 21, but COVID hit.
COVID.
And I will say, Stacy's right, Brad will be a great asset. They were.
A huge asset to us, and they are so reasonably priced for what they do. I mean, I'm like, are y'all nonprofit? What's going on? And I do think they are nonprofit, aren't they? Yeah.
They're there to help you. and
Yes,
help us.
they're wonderful.
Because there's just so much, it's just exploding.
And I'll tell you, I don't want anybody to panic. There's no way that your district would change. So we do have to keep a watch and make sure that if your district line changes, we will specifically make sure that you stay in your district, you're staying in your district, you'll stay in your district, you're gonna stay in your district. So you won't possibly wind up in someone else's district and have to run against them.
No, I don't think anybody thought that. They just were wondering, what it's going to do.
It is, I mean, I'll be honest, I was not here the last time it happened. I do want you to kind of be preparing your constituents for it because they may have a different magistrate come the next election. It's gonna happen. So,
Mine will get bigger too.
They changed my life.
I'm hoping that you get a few more.
Get bigger.
That's what I figured.
He and I both will be getting bigger.
So anyway, I just kind of want to get your minds thinking on it. It's not anything we've got to talk about or get approved or acknowledged today, but please be thinking about that. And it is a good time for us to kind of jump up into what century are we, 21st? Anyway.
And if I'm good with supporting the other deal.
Well, the thing that just really concerns me, we're losing people to retirement. I mean, they're not all fixing to leave, but we lost Gabby, to retirement. Cindy's trying to retire. A lot of the information and knowledge that we have as far as, hey, you're going to be here, 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 and reading those maps, we're losing that. So it would be very nice not to have to bring in somebody, just straight off the street, or even someone there in the office that's coming from vehicle and be like, oh, by the way, now your job is to figure out exactly where this, who this voter's voting for. So, hey, Tyler, can I have that piece of candy? Thanks.
It's actually Jamie's.
Thanks, Jamie. Okay, do you guys have any questions for me?
No, that's a great thing you're doing.
There's a lot happening, fixing to come up. We've got election, and then, like I said, we've got this reapportionment happening. So there's a lot going on down there. So I'll be coming and asking for help or money or something, I'm sure.
Both, probably.
Probably. Correct. Okay. Thank you, guys.
There is a candy thief in the building.
I am constantly
Because this
restocking
was
that.
full.
This was for.
It's Scott.
Oh, I never thought about that.
Keep him away from the candy store.
Jailer Toomey.
Good morning, Court.
Good morning.
How are y'all today?
Doing good.
It's winter again.
Yeah.
See the snow.
See what tomorrow holds.
Spitting snow this morning. All right. As of this morning, my count was 183 inmates. And I've got some good news on my showers. My faucets finally come in. It only took almost 2 months. But they did come in, and they were installed. They came in toward the end of last week. I had 4 fixed, up and going at the end of last week, and we've got the other 4 that's in progress as we speak and should be done either today or tomorrow. So this is good. My Class D coordinator she's working tirelessly to work with other facilities on trying to get some state inmates, but of course all the good workers, everybody wants to keep in their counties, but we're working on getting those numbers up as we can. We're trying to prepare for our first inspection Thursday, so a lot of cleaning, a lot of painting, just stuff that needs to be done anyway. JKS had come out, the architect had come out, and they've submitted a report on their findings after looking over the roof, and it's a combination of things, but I'd like to try to schedule him, Judge, in the next court meeting possibly to come and present the findings himself. He could explain it a lot better than I can, a lot more in depth, so.
Absolutely. I'll work on that.
Yes, sir. Any questions?
No, good for you.
Thank you.
What's your split between county and state?
As of this morning, we've 95 county, 87 state, but of course that state number can be confusing because the majority of those are on the county side. On that's still more restricted, they're not able to get out and work, depending on classification.
Okay.
So.
And they're still waiting on the state to reclassify them?
Yes,
Okay.
and that's part of what this, the Jailers Association finally, as a whole, several of the jailers had said enough's enough.
Right.
According to KRS, they're supposed to classify inmates within 45 days. Well, we've got inmates we've had the better part of a year that we've still not got classified because of the Department of Corrections. So these other jailers that's been in a lot longer said that's enough. We bring a class action lawsuit, and that's in progress now. They're supposed to have another hearing tomorrow and an update about that tomorrow. And there's a lot of things in the works on that. But
Well, how do you classify them if they come in unclassified?
they're stuck. It's not up to me. That's up to Department of Corrections to do that. That's not up to any of us. We've got to wait, and they look at it's a combination of things, but they're on the county side until
They're put in county until they're
yes.
reclassified.
Yes, ma'am. Well, and until they're convicted.
So
Until
they're
they're
a
convicted.
county inmate until they go through the
Classification.
judicial system. No,
Yes.
they go through the judicial system.
Yes, they-
And are found innocent or guilty.
Yes, they've got to be
They're
convicted
found
in things.
guilty.
But yes,
That's when the 45-day clock.
Oh,
Because,
okay.
they may be
Yep.
charged with murder, but, they may get classified as something else after Joe takes some jokes.
But unfortunate part-
I'm sorry, my question
The county side
explicitly
is the
showed it
secure
there, I
side,
guess.
so
Yes.
it houses everybody who's not classified, which would be all misdemeanors, and then all unclassified or classified but dangerous
Yes.
felons. So in order to get over to the state side, you have to be convicted and then classified to be
So
acceptable.
you have to go to court first and then get classified?
Yes, well, you gotta go to court a bunch, get convicted, and then be classified as somebody who's
Okay.
safe enough to go over to the county side.
Okay, I
or
didn't
the
realize
state
that
side.
Yes.
process.
and we have a separate housing on the county side that's restricted for state inmates that have been convicted, but of course, their offenses are more violent, and they've got to be housed separate than the other lower classification. But again,
Tends to be the excuse for the delay.
various things. It's state government. I don't know what to say. But
Just manpower process, looking at a case. I guess.
it's a combination, and we're still using other reasons. And when COVID hit, that's still the reasoning you're getting. But however, we're 3 years out now, and we're still saying that. But we got to get people back to work and not sitting home collecting a check too. But that's part of it at the state level.
It was before COVID, because we've heard about it for years.
Since I've been on court, I've heard about.
Actually got a lot better before COVID.
COVID actually stopped the court system in a lot of counties. We actually were pretty lucky around here that the cases kept moving fairly well, but even in that regard, we couldn't try cases for a couple of years. They're still trying 2-year-old cases, so it was like there was nobody to classify in loose terms for a year and a half, and now they're having to classify all these people that are, as they're working through this backlog. So,
Yes.
but again, if it's 45 days, that's no excuse, but their manpower and caseload is part of it.
Yes.
How often do you get inspected?
Twice a year.
So this is your first?
This is our first official. Of course, first day I invited the inspectors to come in because, of course, we were getting a new inspector. And the other gentleman, they were swapping districts. He was showing him how he does it and kind of layout. And he was seeing our facility and different ones that the facilities he'll be taking on because his wife is actually a jailer now in Crittenden County. So, of course, he can't inspect where he's got family in that area of the state. So, but Thursday will be our first official, and then of course they'll release their findings and any issues or will be corrected, and then they'll come back for a follow-up visit, making sure there's no new and any deficiencies of any kind that will be addressed and will be corrected by that point. But
Probably like September again will be your next one or so.
yes, something roughly, normally about that time frame. Yes, sir. And then enjoy your visit when y'all come out.
It's very,
Absolutely.
very informative.
And I'd love the court at some point in the near future, if you're available again, to come in and see the progress that we've made. I think we've come quite a long way since January. So
You sure have.
Man, I know you work hard, man. I know you, a lot of hours
And your little girl, how's she?
excellent, excellent. She had her 4-week appointment yesterday. So
I also think it's probably good for us, for, I don't know, I'm appreciative of, and you, I know, are really appreciative of, Simpson County is really.
they've been a lot of help.
They've been a lot of help.
They've been a lot of help.
What's that
So,
jailer's name?
Eric Vaughn.
Eric Vaughn.
Eric Vaughn.
Yeah,
And he's actually vice president of the Jailers Association, and he was who I was paired with as my mentor at the Jailers Conference and the new Jailers training back in December. I was lucky enough to get him, but he does a good job. So they've got a good facility, and of course he'll tell you our way is not the only way, but it's a way, and it's working for us. And I take from him and other facilities, and we figure out what best fits ours in our county and trying to make it better is all we're trying to do.
No need to reinvent the wheel.
Absolutely.
And it's good to have people that you can work with and offering help, and you know, I'm sure you could offer help to some other people too.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
I think that's the end goal, is to set an example so we can pay it forward to what has been paid forward to us on this. Simpson County's been very helpful, and I spoke with the jailer Vaughn over there, and I expressed how appreciative we are for their help and the guidance to the jail. And with that being said, I did get to tour the new area, the area that needed work from last time, the closed area, the one they've been able to do, and it's 100% different. I mean, it looks so much better, and you can tell the temperament over there has improved so much. So once again, thank you, Josh, for everything you do.
Thank you for the way that the guys are working on the courthouse. Looks
Absolutely.
great. I mean,
Nice.
it looks great.
You got a good group of men that are very eager to work. So absolutely, and they do a good job. So
They do
Blessings, thank you.
thank you.
Thank you, Tim.
All right, let's move on to department head report. Let's start with Denise. Did you have anything you needed from the archives?
So the first thing is to let you guys know that the new lights are installed. They did that ahead of the storm on that Friday, and if you've been in the building, it's like night and day, literally in there. We can see tremendously now. The other thing is this: we need the court to make a decision, and this isn't something that has to be done today. If you've not ever been in the archives, I do need you to come down there. I can schedule a couple different days. With this storage project that we're going to be doing, there's suggestions on doing one thing or another, and if we go with the suggestions, we may need some altering to the building internally, and of course it's your building, so it's your call. So would it be better for me to schedule a couple of different days for you guys to come down, or you just want to come down and when you can?
Is this different from when I was over there, where you're wanting the shelving and?
That's the project, and it's so if we,
I think I already know.
that is the project, but if we go with some of the suggestions that were made, it will alter the project and alter future plans or future needs.
Okay.
Suggestions from?
Stacy, who was the gentleman?
Jackie Arnold.
He's
got extensive background in archives, like historical, and archives and grants through the KDLA. He used to actually came from KDLA to HARP, which not HARP, I'm sorry, software management.
Okay.
So he come to help us with some grant money, trying to
Right.
grant money to help her with this.
right. So
Well, you do need it, so.
well, but right now, you guys need to look at the buildings to understand the options, so that you can make a decision with your building.
He wants to preserve the history.
Does this guy need to be
Right.
there too? Or?
No.
No?
What's
I don't think so.
what time is best for you for people to drop by?
I am usually there 9 to 4:30, but I can come earlier, I can stay later, and we can even do a Saturday. So whatever works
What
for
days,
you.
9 to 4:30?
I'm there on Wednesdays and Thursdays, but I can go over there any day. That
Do I need
works.
to come again and see new plans, or are you just gonna tell me what
Well,
those
you,
are?
you have seen it recently, so you would understand
Yeah,
what the
I know
question,
what you're
yeah.
talking about, right, okay.
So tomorrow would not be a good day for me because there is a lady from KDLA coming. Finally heard from Becca. Tomorrow's not a good day. I finally heard from Becca. Yeah, so Becca is our regional go-to person. We're going to get started on a records preservation assessment, which is something we've never had done. And she's coming tomorrow, so tomorrow wouldn't be a good day, but any day other than that will
So
work.
this guy from KDLA?
He's KDLA.
Okay,
Right.
so this guy, so he's making suggestions on what we should do
We need
to.
to do whatever Denise wants, and whatever y'all want done, truly.
Well, the big thing is,
I guess it just depends on what.
There's two options:
Yeah,
preserve the integrity of the building and how it looks like the old jail, or the second option is to go in there and build and cover up what you looked at.
But they
Right.
really don't wanna do
I don't want to do that.
that. No.
if we go with what we want to do, it will extend how long I come to you and say, okay, guys, I really need this other floor on this side of the building.
Okay.
That's really what it boils down to. So if you guys just want me to go with what we think we want, I even asked Judy Line, you guys know who she is, what her thought was, and she said, I think we should go with our plan.
I think it'd be beneficial for us to kind of, see, I mean, I don't mind going over there and looking and seeing what you're talking about.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll try to drop in and see.
Okay.
Catch you
Any
one
day
day.
but tomorrow, right?
Any day but tomorrow.
What's your email address?
Email address at the office is Logan, COKY, archives @gmail.com.
If you ever need a LoganCountyKY.gov email address, just let us know, we can get you one.
Absolutely.
That might not be a bad idea.
Yeah.
You should have it.
I agree.
Scott can hook you up.
That might solve some problems that we've had with email.
Archives@LoganCountyKY.gov.
I like that idea. I like that idea.
Official.
Anything else for, any questions?
With that, the lighting project was complete, correct?
Yes.
And?
And actually, because some of the lights in there had already been changed to LED, they took a look at the house and they changed out the ones that had not been changed to LED.
Good,
So I don't think
good.
we're going to have to address the house in the next year.
Good, good. And during the storm, we did lose part of the roof on that shingles. We've got that in progress.
Yeah, he called while we were up here.
Of course, he called while we were in
course.
court, but we're having to address that issue. There's quite a few shingles missing there.
Yeah, there was. I had a pretty good pile on Saturday morning.
Right.
We appreciate your
Thank you.
work and helping us preserve our history. We appreciate it.
Absolutely.
You guys would be surprised at what we have down there. You really would.
Thank you.
I need to backstep and on an elected official, Ben, I'm sorry, I did.
No, it's good. I have nothing other than just the blueprints and that.
I figured you probably, that was all you had, but I honestly just totally looked over
I
you.
can tell you numbers and all that stuff anytime you want, but I don't think you're really interested.
Well, we'll come to you in just a minute. No. We'll come back to you in just a minute. Solid waste, Nathan Cockrell.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Just real quick on the reports I gave you all, on the February litter abatement report, I had the mileage, bags, and tires. We did have quite a few tires, 82 tires. There were 3 or so different tire dumps that the Logan County Road Department gave me, and we worked on those and got quite a few tires out of that. Our recycling report for the center out there in the last 30 days, 24 bales, about 400 pounds of paper. They are working hard out there, trying to get some new stops put in. We do have, you might have noticed on the bill list, we had a large repair bill. The trailer the county owns had a tire blowout, and so we had to get that repaired. They had to actually come down to Dixon, Tennessee to do that, and so it was pretty costly. And then they also had, in Shoemake, then that was Owen that that repaired that one tire, and then Shoemake diagnosed the rest of our tires as needing replacement too. So unfortunately, we had that expense, but we got it taken care of and hope that the trailer will be good for some time to come. I did have a couple of recyclers that I inspected in this last couple weeks, Auburn Pallet and HDH, which is near Bucksville. Both have done some work on their sites to my satisfaction, and I detailed that there, and so I just presented to them for your approval.
Motion to approve the recyclers as presented.
Second.
Okay, a motion and a second. Do we have any discussion? If not, roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Goodwin,
Yes.
Wilcutt,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Crawford,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Baker.
Yes.
All right, thank you. And I just made mention of the storm dumpsters that have been posted out there, and Judge Baker wants to elaborate. He can. We did have to remove one of the storm dumpsters, unfortunately, due to misuse, just to be blunt.
Which one was it?
The one in Chandler's that one is no longer with us, but we still have storm dumpsters for damage that was done in Auburn, Adair, and Lewisburg. They're still available.
Chandler's was the one.
Correct.
There were a couple of couches put in there, and he claimed they got damaged because of the wind. I didn't see that was necessary, and the landowner that was gracious enough to let us put the dumpster there called me on Saturday afternoon, and I said, well, that's when I got a hold of Nathan and said, let's just remove it. If you're going to take advantage of the goodwill of the county to try to provide this, then you're going to have to do it somewhere where it can be watched. So we just asked that it was removed.
Well,
Nathan, thank you.
Anyway.
Sure.
Did you have the tire day?
Yes, I was going to just, actually was coming to that. So
sorry.
No, that's great.
Didn't mean to get ahead of you.
That's great. A couple of dates I wanted to mention. The recycling coordinator, Tim Pitts, and I are going to be doing a presentation at the Russell Library, April 3rd. And that'll be at 5 p.m. We did want to put that out and hope it get folks to attend. We're trying to encourage folks to recycle properly and reduce the contamination. So there's going to be some door prizes, I understand, some free garbage service. It's a Monday. That was the date we came up with, a Monday. They told us weekdays earlier in the week is better. So it was what we went with. And so it's a Monday, April the 3rd at 5 p.m. And we wanted to also announce our next spring tire event, and that'll be April the 28th, which is a Friday. And we should have, Jay or Timmy have already talked to him about some inmates. We'll have plenty of help out there, and we'll plan to have it similar to the fall because my funding is less. Now I've had with these dumps, it's just kind of gotten to me. And plan to do it from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. and a 12-tire limit. Two of those.
12-tire limit, is there a particular kind of tire you will not take?
So we will accept passenger car and light truck tires, and also 2 of those tires of those 12 can be semi-tires.
Okay.
And then we cannot have tractor tires though at this time. And so
Because
the reason about tractor tires, I get that question a lot. The cost to say recycle a passenger tire is $2.50 with who we use.
Okay.
The charge to recycle a tractor tire is like about $30. It's significantly more.
They're bigger.
Yeah. So we do have the event coming up.
About tractor tires.
Yeah.
Robert Earl will be calling you about tractor tires, so be ready.
I was thinking the same thing. It's that chair.
Well, you know what? I'll listen.
We understand it's for the farmers, and now next year we have the big tire event. You can bring all the tractor tires you want, and that'll be next year.
And when's that?
It'll be, usually it's in the spring of every 3rd year, and it'll be coming up in '24. So
And I can say tractor tires?
anything, just about, but they don't take, there's a few things they don't take, but just about anything they'll take in
Spring 24.
unlimited amounts. Yeah, we took in 46,000 tires out of Logan County back in '21.
Okay.
So great, it was a lot.
Get that many more again.
Yep, that's probably right. It's probably right. I think that covers about everything, and except the recycling grant, as someone famous once said, hasta la vista.
All right, but looking at the audience, I don't see anyone else, so we're going to go ahead and Move on to the judge's announcements. I only have realistically one. The 51st Annual Logan County Search and Rescue Fish Fry will be March the 25th from 5 p.m. till they run out of fish or run out of auction items, whatever comes first. That's going to be at the Logan County Extension Office. Search and Rescue does a lot for this county, and I would urge everyone that can to come out and support them. Stacy, you got that on your calendar, please? All right, there we go. You missed the last one. I told her I was going to call her out on that one because she refused to reimburse me for what I had spent out there. Do we have any reports? All right, I'm looking around and I see a lot of citizens, but if there's any at this time, if we have anybody that wants to come up and speak for citizen report time, then feel free to come up. If not, do we have any old business? Okay, if no old business, before we move on to new, I've been asked that we take a short break. Yes, all right. Welcome back. Now let's continue on. We're going to go ahead and start back up with new business. First order is discuss plans for the coroner's office presented by JKS Architects. Ben, would you like to come up with?
Sure.
Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
First off with the plans, there are a few revisions being done this week. We'll plan on having them done by the end of this week and giving you all fresh copies by either the end of the week or the first of next week. There's no changes to the plan or design. We're just modifying a few walls. And as for where we are with the plans, that's all I have with that. Do you all have any questions?
Has everyone been able to look over the plans?
They're also on the table.
Yeah, there's a roll of them there on the table, and there's some literature there for late night reading.
I didn't get through all 760 pages.
Well, that's good. I got through 500 and fell asleep. Put me right out. So.
I basically just want to see how much it costs.
Yeah, that's
Put it out for bid and see what these numbers come in as. That'll.
Is there an architectural estimate?
Not that I know of. I can ask and send to you all architectural estimate.
So what?
So, you know, worth noting, it would be just, you know, because the court needs to understand what we're doing. We're taking that existing old drug task force building, remodeling it to have the coroner's office there. The back part of that you see is still the sheriff's maintenance garage facility. I don't know how much that is being used, but that's irrelevant to this conversation. That part is not being touched, okay?
This part?
That's right, that shaded area, nothing is happening there. It's only the part from there forward. And so, you know, it's a metal building, and you're basically pretty well just gonna gut it and turn it into a modern office that would have drywall. It would have drywall ceilings. It would have, you know, so you're gonna go inside a metal building and frame in a
Nice facility.
nice facility with a place for the van to come into. There's where the coroner would do his work. This is the viewing area, so if a family came in and needed to view the body, we would have that. There's the coroner's office there. There's a public restroom and also the private restroom, the washing machines, all that stuff.
Well, that's what we needed anyway.
So I can get through all this.
This is on the second attachment, number 19.
Oh. Okay. I was like,
Yeah.
Show me.
It's on page. It's on page
That's the current layout,
759.
yes.
Yeah, I was just trying to. I mean, nothing's being used.
No, but the current layout is
Yeah, I know.
totally
Yeah, I've been
unusable.
Right, I've been in there. I just
It was
we're
makeshift
literally-
thrown up,
Yeah.
real cheap.
Take this.
Okay.
I mean, I agree. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Do y'all have any questions about any of that layout or any of the specifics that I can answer or Peyton can answer? I
Look
mean,
at 2A. You've got
What kind of date and timeline are we looking at possibly just going out to bid?
keep going till you get to 2A.
Up here,
Go out to bid.
this is S1.
What kind of timeline? I guess throughout the rest of this, what timeline are we looking at?
By the end of this
We gotta
week,
do-
it should be
Oh, I
out
should've gone
for
down.
review.
Right.
For plans. Then, as soon as we get that back,
Shows you the front.
we should be good to go
To
out to
approval.
bid. We're trying to make the same time that was established before. I believe it's the 9th.
April 9th?
April 9th?
Yeah.
That's a Sunday.
Well, it would be April 9th then.
We don't have to open the bids?
No, for
No.
going out to bid, not to open them.
Okay.
So-
So I noticed in there the bid opening was, it's in there as the 11th.
So by the
Yes,
28th, which would be March the 28th, you think we'd be ready for approval to put out for bid to be opened possibly the April the 10th or 11th.
Yes. Put out for bid or the open?
No, open bids 10th or 11th. Put out approval by the court to bid on the 28th of March, making bid opening around the 10th or 11th, depending on which, if that 2 weeks is late. Well, that's only going to really leave about a week.
Does this require any state permit?
I believe it's local permit on this.
So,
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure the design's great. I'm just waiting really for the numbers to see if it's, you know, if it's gonna cost us a lot of money to make what we currently have into what we need. Just take this and put it somewhere else, you know. I mean, I just don't know how much it's gonna come back. It could be reasonable. It could be significantly less than if we just built this somewhere else, you know, but.
Built new instead of used facility already in place.
do you think by the 28th you could come back with the new with some cost estimates?
I wouldn't want that in public court. I think it kind of sways the head a little bit. I mean,
Okay.
if you want to text that out to somebody or email it out, I don't
If you
care.
can-
I don't need to know that it is what it is. Market value is market value at the time
You
of bid.
You
So-
guys have Ben and I's information. If you want to get that information to us, I can make sure that the rest of the court gets it.
I can do that.
So does the court vote on the final specs and plans before we advertise?
Yes, y'all
But
have
we're
to
not-
approve that.
Right.
They're not ready yet? Is that what we're?
No, they're
is that
ready.
Or is that what we're gonna say today?
That's what we're supposed to be doing today. You're supposed to be approving the design today so that they can put it out to bid, because they can't put it out to bid until you.
What's the other?
With the revisions.
Revisions you have?
Well, the email I got, or the text I got from Stephanie, said that these are the ones for your all's review, for your approval. The changes that are being made are minor changes of just walls being moved slightly to accommodate certain things. So there won't be any change in the designs, what she's saying. No change in the specs. Everything will be the same. It's just these plans didn't get updated to some movements that have to be made with walls and stuff. So that's what she told me. I know the numbers that were originally told to me by our previous judge that was set aside for construction. It's not going to touch, I don't know if you all know what that was. That's not going to touch what has to be done here. You're not with current building prices.
You know, like I say, I just really need you know, obviously we need to approve this to get it out for bid just so we can, to see what it's going to cost, and then it helped me make my decision better on what, because I mean, I know we have this space that's available for us to do something with, but we could use that space for some other stuff too. I mean, we got other things we could put in there. So if it's going, it would require hardly no reconstruction, you know. But that's the rural fire department's over there, and then we could have somebody else over there too. But if it's not like you know, if it's cost a lot more money for us just to take this design and build it on a little piece of property we might have somewhere, like where the garden is or something, I don't know.
Well, sometimes that's actually cheaper.
We'll just need to wait and see what it costs, see how much more, you know.
Except that we've already spent all this money for this design, so you're going to, you know what I'm saying, you spent all this money toward designing it for where it's going to go, and I really don't care where it goes, so I don't care as long as we get an office, I don't care where it goes. I'm going to say that up front.
So this design here, you couldn't see it being somewhere else and it working somewhere else?
Oh, it might, but they've designed this within the restraints of that facility. If they went somewhere else, they would design totally different. They'd start all over. They would never go build it.
I mean, this design is specific to that. It's not like, hey, this is, they did take the need, so there is the principle there, you still need one bay, you still need a work area, you still need a family viewing room, you still need a coroner's office, you still need a laundry facility, and you still need restrooms. You know, they took those needs and fit it inside the footprint of that building. If we were building new, the needs are still the same, but now you have an open.
You have
concept.
freedom
You
to
can do
whatever you want. Like you wouldn't want your garage door on the front, you'd want it on the back.
Yeah, you know.
You know, it would they'd totally redesign it. I mean, I can tell you,
Probably
they'd
wouldn't
trash
have
that and start all over.
The van coming in the front of the building, if you was building a new one, we'd have it coming in the back or the side.
Yeah.
You know,
Aesthetically.
this was just the only place that would work in this building.
I'm just wondering if we, you know, initially thought it may not take as much reconstruction as what it is going to take to work in this building.
Probably started that way, yes. But I don't know that number. Ben told me one time what that number was, and I agree with Ben. That number that was budgeted the first time we
Oh,
did
yeah.
that
I know what that
project.
number is.
Yeah, and now we're 5 times that number.
I don't know.
Oh, I don't know if we're 5, but I bet we're 3.
Oh, 3, yeah. You might get lucky.
Okay, well,
The good thing is you've already got the property, you've already got the shell, you've got the foundation, you've got the roof, you've got the basic walls.
All utilities
So,
are in
and
there.
the utilities are all set. So, it's gonna be cheaper in my opinion, and I do this stuff a lot, folks, to stay in that building because you've already got those expensive things already there. You go somewhere else, you gotta put in everything.
You've got plumbing, you've got wiring, you've got everything.
You got everything there. Now, that's not to say it's not gonna be expensive, it's gonna be expensive, but if it costs, I'm throwing these numbers out there because this is I'm pulling it out of my ear. If let's say it's cost $300,000 to build it there, you can bet it's gonna cost more than that to build it anywhere else. Because the basic square footage is staying, but now you're putting in utilities, a foundation, a roof. You're adding expenses that we don't have at this building. But again, I don't care where it is as long as we get one because we desperately need one.
Well, we're invested this far, it would be silly to, in my opinion, to not bid this out. You know,
Yeah, we need to bid this out.
we've already invested the time, already paid JKS up to this point.
that's why I said, you know, until we bid it out and see what this comes back.
If it comes back and it's like, oh my goodness, it's crazy money, you know, we're not gonna do that. If we are, we'll spend that money being unrestricted on another location.
And that's all I'm saying.
Yeah, Tyler's just saying there's stuff that we could have that could possibly go in here as well without a
Spending as much
of
money,
that extent.
and I get that.
So I mean,
Yes, so-
for example, you take search and rescue, they're over there in the, they're over there at the, you know, little cubby over there at the road barn when, you know, Russell Royal is right there, you know, already could be in the same. I'm not saying that's what we need to do, but like I said, until we see the numbers, I don't really have any other comment about it, until we see what it's gonna cost to do it.
Are we using the back end of this building currently still for the sheriff's?
Sure.
I make a motion that we authorize JKS to advertise these put these bid documents out for bid, but that we schedule the bid opening prior to a court meeting. if
Joe,
possible.
we spoke about that, correct? And we're good with setting the bid opening possibly a day before. And what we would do is we would open it here, do a public bid opening, but the decision would be made till the next day. That way we have time to review all the documents, to review all the specs, and we don't have to sit in court for an hour and a half trying to make sure everybody's
I'd even
on.
encourage you to do longer, you know,
Well,
do it Thursday before a Tuesday.
We
meeting.
typically, a project like this would never approve that
Right.
on bid opening.
Right. I know,
Regardless of
right.
that. We've always opened them on court.
I know we always have a lot of questions. I thought that would be good to allow Ben and the architect to
I can tell you now, even
evaluate
if we
stuff.
open them on Thursday and come to court on Tuesday, you're not gonna approve it on Tuesday because then we're all gonna be in there together and we're gonna have a lot of questions and JKS is gonna have to either A, answer them or B, hey, let's have a little time that we can review the two low
Correct.
bidders and
Do you
compare
have to
apples to apples.
Do you have to have a quorum or something to have a bid opening?
It would just have to be a public meeting, I
Right.
guess. My only concern about not doing it at a court meeting is there are times where things come up and the court has input on whether, like, for example, to open the bid or not, you only get one or you don't, and you want to rebid it and you want to get more bids, that's going to put Judge Baker here kind of on his own, because the anticipation is that you're not all going to be coming to these bid opening meetings, but it would definitely provide you more time to review things and ask questions than the day of. So, I mean, it's your all's personal preference for how you do it.
I'm in favor of opening on regular court, and I just don't see that being approved one way or the other, whether we don't even have any questions. It's not going to be approved until the architect spends time evaluating all the bids, and I mean, it's the way we've always done it. It seems to work. But I do understand that it would give me more time to build questions before coming to court, but
I'll also say this is your all's preference, so I'm not one way or another. The legal issues do come up at bid openings and stuff with that, accepting and stuff of that nature. I'm not going to be here at all of these meetings, so that's another thing for having people in the room at a court meeting. So I'll do whatever you all want. Serve at your all's pleasure, but you can do it either way you want.
It only makes sense to me that when we open the bids, Thomas is right. You want to give the architect time to go over the bids, because there's little things in there that make a huge difference. You can't take them at face value that one's $20,000 less than the other and think, well, we're going to go with that one. Well, what that one bid may be totally, the quality may not be there that the other one bid that's $20,000 more.
Yeah.
And when you're spending that much money anyway, you want the best product, the best quality. What's $20,000? You know what I'm saying? So he's right. It's going to take some time. It's not going to be able to be done.
To evaluate.
Yeah, just so that they have time to look at it and say which one's the better, the better bid.
Yeah, makes sense.
I typically don't like open bids if there's only one, without a thorough discussion of, are we going to accept that? I mean, we've not opened bids before, and he doesn't have anybody to lean on to if he's here by himself and opening bids and there's only one bid and he opens it. Now that's public record, and bring it to court and we say it's over budget and we want to, rebid it. I think we at least, if we get one bid, that we at least extend that time and advertise it again. Don't open that bid, and that makes it fair to that bidder. Gives them time to reevaluate and us to also solicit other bidders.
And that's especially a good case when you know that you have multiple people who would normally bid on something, because sometimes people just quite frankly forget.
Or they don't see it or don't know, and nobody contacts them.
So,
all right, where we at? Your motion was to approve it and have a bid opening before court date.
And I'll amend that to do it on the 11th, but that's what the majority wants to do.
Okay, I got a motion to say. Do we have any discussion? I do have one thing to say. I think in Chris's defense, I understand where he's going with this. It gives you time to look at some of these. And this issue came up after the bid opening on the trucks last week, last meeting, the time it took us to get that thorough, and he's just trying to be thorough to make sure that those bids, we have time to ask those questions on a project this size. I agree with Thomas. We can't make the decision that day. This is not going to happen. It'll have to fall over. But I think there are instances where opening bids early could be beneficial to the entire court. But that will be a per case, and we'll discuss that later. We'll have discussion on that later if that's okay with everybody. Anyway, is there any more discussion on this?
How long are the bids good for? Are they 90 days?
I'm not fully sure on that.
Probably not more than 90 days.
I think that's book right there.
I couldn't readily find
page 400, but I can't.
Typically 60 days, but I'm not saying.
Everybody different, I guess. 60.
Okay. Any more
Okay, do
discussion?
we have a motion and a second?
Yeah, do we have any more discussion?
No, I'm ready.
If not, roll call, please.
Davenport,
Yes.
Goodwin,
Yes.
Wilcutt,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Crawford,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Baker.
Yes. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Take care.
Gonna work.
Next order is approval of Kentucky Pride Fund Recycling Grant application and projects to be funded by the grant.
Hello again.
Welcome back, Nathan.
So every spring, the Kentucky State Fund offers a recycling grant to counties, and this recycling grant can be used to fund several different pieces of equipment, other projects, some advertising money. And in this case, our recycling center could use new scales. The reason we say that, last year in 2022, we had some significant repair problems with our current scales. The scales right now is used to weigh cardboard and metal and plastic, weigh what we've got coming in and out. It's not used a tremendous amount, but it does suffer some wear and tear. And so the load cells went bad on it last year. It was about $1,000 repair job. And so we said, well, let's just use this grant to apply for new scales to hopefully keep this from happening, since it won't really cost the county anything. And we plan to keep the old scales, but use this new scales for our main projects. I provided 4 scale quotes, and Tyler informed me that there was a local individual. It was definitely not my intent to miss anybody that could have possibly given a scale quote. So if we need to work on that, we can. But I did have 4 that I did get. And one was significantly more than the others. It was a durable scales, but Tim and I couldn't justify with the use that the scales have out there going with a higher quote. We just didn't feel like we could, since it was a similar, the other scales will meet our requirements. And so I suggested the cheapest one of those, but I just wanted to put that out for you all as to what we would be actually applying for. And then also, with the educational campaign we're looking to do with the recycling contamination, we were looking for some more additional ad money than what we've applied for in previous years. And so from the radio station, about $3,500, from the newspaper, about $1,500, and then we're trying something new that we haven't tried, and that's to advertise on Facebook. That's something that was not, we haven't done yet, and so we want to try to do about $1,000 for that, and just see how that works and try to reach a new audience. So,
Well, I'll make a motion to approve the Kentucky Pride Fund Recycling Grant application, and allow Judge Baker to sign that as presented.
I have a motion and a second. Any other discussion?
would that also include, y'all okay with the bids, the 15, 25 and all the other?
Yep.
All right.
No further discussion. Roll call, please.
Davenport,
Yes.
Goodwin,
Yes.
Wilcutt,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Crawford,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Baker.
Yes.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
One thing that I was going to mention to you was on kickoff day of the fair, which is June the 17th, we wanted to see if you would be interested in doing educational sessions, something when it comes to recycle.
Yeah.
We'll have a whole bunch of different groups out there that day, and we thought that might be an opportunity for the county to get some information out.
Yeah.
regarding the recycle program.
I'll get with you. You said June the 17th.
Programs that you want.
Sure. June the 17th?
Yes.
Okay. Well, we sure appreciate it.
Thank you, Nathan. Item number 3, discuss contribution to Barron River Area Child Advocacy Center in the amount of $1,500. There's a letter in your files. Is this, Amanda, is this money that we already have set aside for this? Or is this money we've given in the past?
Yes, we do typically budget for the Barron River Child Advocacy.
Okay.
If I could say something about that. I don't know how much the court knows how vital that is to law enforcement. Unfortunately, we use that facility daily with our child abuse investigation. So they are an ace in our investigations. They tremendously help us go after those and prosecute those cases. So
Brad, you mean?
Was that Brad or that was
This is
the Child Advocacy Center?
Oh, okay.
More of a BRAC than BRAC.
Yeah, it's BRAC.
BRAC. Oh.
Yeah, that's why we use that facility to do our investigations through child abuse. They're a huge asset for every county across the state, but we utilize the one in Bowling Green every day.
Every day?
Yeah, unfortunately, yes. So
From Logan County?
just Logan County, yeah. So they're a great group of people to work with. They're very valuable to law enforcement, and I didn't know how much court was aware of how much we utilize them, but unfortunately we do. But they are great to have, and they help us put the bad people in jail because of those cases. So I just wanted to throw that out.
Make a motion to approve the contribution to the Barron River Area Child Advocacy Center in the amount of $1,500 as budgeted. Okay.
I second that.
Got a motion and a second.
And transfer the funds as needed.
All right, any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Davenport,
Yes.
Goodwin,
Yes.
Wilcott,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Crawford,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Baker.
Yes. Next, item number 4, open bids for Mott's Lick Creek Rail Wall Stabilization Project. We didn't receive any bids, have we? And I assume no bids out in the audience. So I'm at a loss. I'll be honest.
Does anybody want to come up and speak to
Do
that?
you guys want to come and
Maybe
say a
our
few
next-
words about it?
What our next step would be?
That from my clip.
As they all,
We can discuss a redesign.
can you come up to the mic? If you're out there, they can't hear you online when you're speaking. Can you introduce yourself, please?
I'm Michael Brewer. I'm an engineer with Natural Resource Conservation Service. So we had discussed the possibility of maybe doing a redesign of the project. We think that maybe the contractors were having trouble with finding the materials, particularly the guardrail, and maybe they were unfamiliar with the techniques in the project. So I'm not the design engineer on this project. I can speak with him and people at our state office and see if that's a possibility.
Yeah, I mean, there were 3 contractors, I think, that showed up when we did a site viewing.
Correct.
One of them was local. The other 2 had dealt with some of this, but they were pretty good distance off. One of them, I think, was maybe from Georgia, and the other one was from East Kentucky. And of course, to bring their crew and equipment and everything over is going to be a pretty substantial cost, which we kind of knew the project would be substantial. So, but I think both of those crews are also doing work in other places too, so they may have felt like they couldn't meet the deadline and everything as well.
So do we need to wait on new bid specs and then rebid it out? Is that what we need to wait?
I think so. I think that's our
Maybe we don't
best,
have
is to talk to the engineers and figure out if we can do a redesign, if redesign is possible, to make it something more appealing to more of a local. If we can get local, I'm always an advocate for local contractors, but if we can do it local, or if we can make it more appealing to someone to come and do the job, I think if that's an option, we can discuss this and come back and bring it before the court to see if we want to bring it back out to bid.
Yeah, we can approach that and then get back with y'all.
That'd be great.
You think by the next court meeting you can have us our new specs? That way we can put it out for new bid, or?
It would probably be hard. How often do y'all meet?
We'll meet at the 4th Tuesday of this month.
28th.
So, our next
It
one.
might be hard in 2 weeks because this goes through our state engineers, and they're dealing with a lot of it in eastern Kentucky as well.
So maybe in April.
April the 11th and April 25th are our April meetings.
We could probably report to you by then about whether they will be able to redesign it, but I don't know if we will have the specs by then.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Is this the case that we have grant money that's paying for this, and is there a window that we have to have it completed by?
I think y'all have requested an extension for it. I don't know when it's for. Is it
Yeah.
September?
June.
June. Okay.
June.
Yeah, I mean, if there's a redesign, then it may have to be another request.
Yeah.
And there's no guarantees on that.
I'd say getting interest is going to be very difficult at this time of year. I'm sure everybody's gearing up
Well, and like I said, the design that you had is kind of a specialized project with using railroad track and guardrail. You know, it's pretty specialized. So depending on how the next one is, it may show more interest just by not having such a specific project. So,
and I agree with that. So let's you've got my information. Just get with me, and we'll see if we Libby or myself. We'll see if we can figure out a day getting you back on the docket to represent this. Hopefully, we can get it rolling. All right. Okay. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you. Number 5, second reading adoption of ordinance number 23-210-01, an ordinance amending the administrative code of Logan County. This is the signature, correct? The check signature to keep mine and Amanda's wrists from falling completely off.
Make a motion to approve the second reading.
Second.
I got a motion and a second. Any other discussion other than I appreciate it? Roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Goodwin,
Yes.
Wilcutt,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Crawford,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Baker.
Yes.
I'm only for this because we're now self-insured and I won't have to pay for y'all's proper total.
I appreciate that. I do appreciate that. Some days I wonder how many checks that I have to sign. Approve the reappointment of Tony Adler to the Todd County Water Commission for a 3-year term beginning 2/14/2023 and ending 2/14/2026.
Motion to approve the reappointment of Tony Adler to the Todd County Water Commission for a 3-year term beginning February 14, 23 and ending February 14, 26.
Second.
A motion is second. Any other discussion? Roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Goodwin,
Yes.
Wilcutt,
Abstain.
Harper,
Yes.
Crawford,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Baker.
Yes. Number 7, approve the reappointment of Ellen Neely to the Human Rights Commission for a 2-year term beginning 2/26/23 and ending 2/26/2025.
Motion to approve.
Have a motion? Have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Do I have any discussion?
I just, for information purposes, can get a little bit more, I guess, what the Human Rights Commission does.
I would love to tell you that, but
They're kind of a state-appointed body, and they can hear complaints and stuff regarding basically mistreatment of people from certain demographics or, I guess, in any certain type of situation. So, good group of people. They have a annual dinner, I think usually every April. So.
and I apologize for not knowing. They came and spoke to me for a little bit, but that was actually we were more talking about appointments to the board, and honestly, I had so much I hadn't even had a chance to even visit with them on that, so. But regardless, I have a motion and a second. Do I have any other discussion? If not, roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Goodwin,
Yes.
Wilcutt,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Crawford,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Baker.
Yes. Number 8, approved to advertise for bids for a new half-ton half-ton crew cab truck for the Logan County Road Department. They have this in their budget to add a second truck for this year. Their current half-ton trucks are single cabs and are needing a second half-ton truck out there.
Make a motion to advertise for bids for a new half-ton crew cab truck for the road barn, specs as presented.
Second.
Have a motion and a second.
What's different on this spec and the one we just bought?
I don't think there's any difference.
Why don't we just buy 2 of them?
Well,
Buy
the one of the other bidders came back and approached us and said the truck that they had bid, the one we didn't accept, they actually have got some of those in stock now, and that was the holdup on the last truck. And I'm not sure that they had 2 trucks available on the other one. So we thought it would be best just to go ahead and put this back out and go from there.
Okay.
And if the other one comes back, we can make that discussion then. All right, I have a motion, a second. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Davenport,
Yes.
Goodwin,
Yes.
Wilcott,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Crawford,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Baker.
Yes. Number 9, approve to advertise for annual bids for fiscal court 23 and 24. I think, Olivia, this is,
That's just a list.
the bid list is right there, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
these to be open April 11th.
This is
So
Rob.
moved.
I have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
All right, any other discussion? Roll call?
Davenport,
Yes.
Goodwin,
Yes.
Wilcott,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Crawford,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Baker.
Yes. All right, item number 10, surplus 1 combination and slot file and a shelf unit, inventory number 353, and 2 compartment slot file units at the Logan County Archives, and remove these items from the Logan County Archives inventory list.
So moved.
Second.
All right, I have a motion and a second. Do I have any discussion? Not, roll call?
Y'all are moving way too fast. Davenport,
Yes.
Goodwin,
Yes.
Wilcott,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Crawford,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Baker.
Yes.
Just want to make sure you make your next bathroom trip.
Look,
Your appointment.
Okay, well, we have no reason to go into executive session, so post agenda.
Well, you had that, you added it, we amended something, didn't we?
that was what we.
That was the one we just went over,
I gave y'all
archives.
an amended agenda.
Oh, okay. That was-
Olivia's taking care of us.
I do have one thing to mention real quick.
Yes, sir.
In post agenda. If you and I can, I'm gonna set a meeting with, the new manager at, I guess it's Griffin. Dark Road Industries.
Right.
They have a new manager, and we had some meetings with them prior, and they talked about how they're gonna be a better, community partner and
Great.
help us with our plaguing of smell that they put on our county. And it got better for a while, but I think, seems like they're having some issues again. So I'd like maybe, I'm gonna set a meeting with me and go talk to them, if that's all right.
Can we make that meeting where they come here?
I think they generally would like us to see the facility unless you don't want to do that. Can you stand that?
I can stand a lot of things.
Y'all could
I'll
go
do
on.
whatever it takes for the county.
Yeah. I hear you. But anyway, I just want to see if maybe sometime next week me and you will meet with them.
Absolutely.
Okay.
If you set the meeting up and give me the time and the date, I will be there.
I'll do it.
Excellent.
I have a post agenda. So
Yes, sir.
I sent all of y'all individually, just a picture of a new home that was built in Logan County that was 100% past the framing stage, 100% past the roofing stage, and although in my opinion, we had significantly wins, I mean, we've had over 500 booked appointments in the roofing business since that event, so it was a big event, but this blew this building down. And in my opinion, that seems really odd, but I'm not an engineer, so there's a lot of things, I'm looking at Chris because he is, there's a lot of variables there that I know I don't understand, but this is the reason I am 150% for building inspections. That homeowner who built that is not a engineer, knows probably very little about home building. Doesn't mean he shouldn't build a home, right? You're building your own home, right? And there should be an advocate there for the homeowners to ensure that a minimum standard is being met by our international building codes that we've adopted in the state of Kentucky. And anyhow, that's when y'all hear me, on my soapbox about why we need building inspections and building inspectors countywide. Not saying that a building inspector would have stopped that from happening. There could have been variables there that that was just a picture sent to me, just like, wow, did you see this? And that's in Logan County. That happened in Logan County. And like I said, it's 100% done. I'm like, that's just crazy, if you ask me. So, yeah.
So I know you've been passionate about this for a while. What's your roadblocks and
Time, and that's 100% on me. Can't blame the judge. He's only 3 months into it, but maybe 6 months from now I'll blame him, but I'll take it for now. We've just been, meeting with, obviously the court. What does that look like? Why do we need it? Judge Chick and myself presented to the Russellville Council, and the short of that meeting is Russellville Council. So my grand scheme idea would be that we have one building inspector location for all incorporated cities and all Logan County in one office. That we do this by interlocal agreement, just like we do our trash pickup, right? That's an interlocal agreement. We all contribute and we make this work. And so the city of Russellville, we went to them and because they have that already, right? Nobody else does. Auburn doesn't have it. Lewisburg, Dareville, nobody else has it except for Russellville. And Russellville is like, hey, well, we already have it, but we don't want to stop this from happening. Y'all put a proposal together of what that looks like, how that's going to work, and then you bring it back to us. And we'll either opt in or opt out, so that's where that's at. So we just need to build that, countywide licensing, building licensing, permitting, and building inspection. That's all, it's two different things, but it's all one thing that we're promoting. 100% positive feedback from the builders in the community, all around, everybody's for it. As a matter of fact, the Home Builders Association of Logan County is trying to get that done since the early 90s. And and they can't get the county to buy in to do it.
So one thing that confuses people that you may want to hit on is this is not creating any new rules.
There's no new rules. I've said that 10,000 times, and there's already building requirements in the state of Kentucky. And that is, state of Kentucky adopted what's called the International Building Codes, whatever the last version was. They adopted that, and that is your state building codes. Those are your minimum requirements. Now, some communities have gone in and made even stricter requirements, but they can't lessen those requirements. You can make them stronger, but you can't lessen them. So those requirements are already there. It's just another one of those things that we have no oversight. It would be like posting speed limit signs, but not have the sheriff's department. That's literally what it is. It's no enforcement. So we have those laws on the books. Builders and roofers and electricians and everything. Electricians get, they get inspected because you got to have an electrical permit. Plumbers get inspected because you got to have a plumbing permit. HVAC now is inspected because you have to have that permitted. But the building is not. So that guy right there does not have, it's in the county, he does not have a building permit. His foundation was dug, poured, set. Nobody looked at it. Hopefully it was right. If it wasn't, it's on him. It was framed, built, looks great. 60, 70 mile an hour wind comes along and blows it down.
What if somebody would have been in that house? What if a child had been in the house? That's something you have to deal with.
And I talked to a builder who's a lot smarter than me. I would have thought, and Chris can answer that, I would have thought that has paper on it, right? That's going to get a metal siding on it or something. It's not a solid wall. I thought, the guy I was talking to was like, well, if that had the OSB on the outside wall, it would have been even worse. He thought maybe not. I was like, well, the shear force looked like it would be worse, and he said, well, but yeah, you also tie in.
Stiffen it up.
Yeah, it's-
Plywood will stiffen it up,
Yeah,
it probably would
so-
have stood. A stick frame house, believe it or not, all those little individual members do take a lot of wind, and they'll blow over quick, very quick. If it had the sheeting on it, probably wouldn't have blown over, believe it or not.
Yeah, so there you go. Either which way, it shouldn't have blown over. There's no
Right.
there wasn't a wind to blow over. You know, I mean, there's barns sitting out there with nothing but roofs on them, and 6 poles sticking up out of the ground, and they're still standing. I own one of them, okay? And, you know, you thought it'd been gone like a kite in that wind, but, you know, it wasn't. So, but anyhow, hey, and like I said, there may have not been one single thing wrong with that frame. Somebody may have gone, I'm not saying that for this reason. I'm not saying this was a trash job. Please don't hear me. That's not what I'm saying. But my point is, this is why we need that inspection. Because at least we could say, hey, it was framed correctly. And it was just one of those freak accidents that happened. And, you know, so.
And Thomas, I 100% agree with you. And since you've already done most of your homework on this, I would welcome the opportunity to sit down and talk to you, see where you're at with it, and see what we can do about getting this taken care of. That's one of the big concerns I had, and one of the big questions we had during the election time was that. And I am very passionate about taking care of homeowners, because that's the biggest investment most people make. And if we are not out there looking out for these people, then what are we doing? So I do appreciate that. I would appreciate the opportunity to talk to you about it.
I'd be glad to help with that personally, because I see a lot of, I will say it, I see a lot of shoddy work, because I go out and inspect the houses that I design, and I see some shoddy work. So, I mean, I know it's,
Well, it just takes time, and, you know, we need to put it on the calendar, and you kind of set that calendar, and tell us when and where we need to meet. That's kind of like the meeting we had yesterday. If it's not written down, and somebody say, hey, this is the next step, and here's the things we need to get accomplished, and who's gonna own what, and when we're gonna be done.
Absolutely.
Present the court, it's just not gonna happen, because we all get busy, and so, there you go.
I've got it. I've got your word that you're going to lead this up and charge the head of it. All right, do we have anything else post agenda? If not, adjournment.
Motion to adjourn.
I have a motion, I have a second.
Second.
All in favor, let's just get up and leave.
Yep.
Thank you all.